Okay, geometry classes. I'm going to go over the lesson 1 and 2 mastery check from unit 1. And then I'm going to go over the lesson 3 formative assessment in this video. So number 1, this is the way the question was asked on Schoology. See how it says take a picture of your work to upload for the next question? That lets you know you need to write your work clearly. And I don't really care how you do it. Most people wrote it on a piece of paper and then use the camera app, which I explained to you in class. But do you see how this segment LN is the same is 15? It's the same distance. So together, x minus 2 plus 2x minus 4 equals 15. So x minus 2 plus 2x minus 4 equals 15. A lot of people said x minus 2 equal to 2x minus 4. They are not equal. We don't know that m is the midpoint. Now, algebraic mistakes. If you did something like this, okay, here is the equal sign. That if you did that, you would be subtracting x from the same side twice. We need to keep the scale balanced. So we are not going to subtract x. We are going to combine the like terms. We're going to combine the positive x and the plus 2x. If you had trouble with this type of thing, you need to review solving equations, because I mean I can quickly go over it with these problems with you, but I have to assume that you know how to solve equations, and you're really going to struggle in geometry if you don't know how to solve equations. So x is 7. You go back and you read the question again. It says solve for x, so the answer is 7. Then on the next page, you take a picture of your work and you upload it right here. If you don't upload your work for the next mastery check, I'm going to not give you credit for the problem, because anybody can guess the right answers. A, give 2 other names for line CD. Okay, we went over this quite a bit in class, and if you didn't understand it, you could have always stopped your mastery check and gone back and watched the video again, looked at the notes. But here's line CD. There's a lowercase g, so you could call it line G. You could call it line, and there weren't any symbols, so you had to use letters. If you're naming a line, you need 2 letters. BD or DB, BC or CB, and then they named CD, so you could also do DC. Those are the only options. To name a line, you're going to need 2 letters, capitalized letters, points on the line, or you need the actual name of the line, which is the lowercase g. G is not a point. B, 3 points that are collinear. That means they all have to be on the same line, and the only line that has 3 points is this one with C, B, and D. You should really put a comma in between those. If you didn't, I understand, but I'm just explaining that to you. G is not a point. And C, name a pair of opposite rays. And we've been over this multiple times, but opposite rays, and I had you draw them in class, have a common endpoints. So if this is A, B, C, to name the opposite rays, it would be ray BC and ray BA. Those would be opposite rays. So in this case, we're asking for a pair of opposite rays. H is not a point. It's a lowercase letter, so that's the name of the line. So we're going to have to name ray BD, and there was no way to write the ray symbol, so that's fine. BD, and then it would have to be BC. And what I was looking for was that you knew that that endpoint is the same for both of those, and you had to have 2 because it's a pair. And I gave you 2 points for each of those. So 2, 4, 6, the whole problem was worth 6 points. Number 4, we did a problem just like this in class, the last class right before you had to take your mastery check. They tell you that T is the midpoint. That means that these segments are congruent, which means you can set 6x equal to 4x plus 30. You couldn't do that in the original problem. Now, some people had trouble with the algebra. Learn, just take a look at my algebra. Just review it very quickly. Make sure you know what you're doing. A lot of people got x as 15. A lot of people. 15 is not the answer. 15 is the value of x. If you look at the problem, they are not asking for their value of x. They're asking find the value of RQ. RQ goes from here all the way to here. So we're going to have to plug 15 back in. So if there's a couple different ways to do that, but I'm just going to do it the easiest way. 6 times 15 plus 4 times 15 plus 30. That gives you the entire distance, and it ends up being 180. If you put 15, it's a very, very common mistake. Some people don't even recognize that they did that, but that's a very common thing that the SOL asks. You have to, one of the things you have to do in geometry, you have to learn how to write an equation from a diagram. You have to solve the equation from Algebra 1, and then you have got to read the question and make sure you answer what they are asking. It's going to happen a lot. And then to upload the picture of your work, and then you were done. So there's really only 3 problems there. So Unit 1, Lesson 3, the formal formative, this didn't count for any points, but here, these A and B are the legs, and C is the hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle. For number 2, we go ahead and write the formula. I put an X in instead of a C because I noticed that the hypotenuse is going to be an X. So I'll plug in my 12 and my 16. X, hold on. Where's my recording? Shoot. I'm having technical issues. Shoot. There we go. Okay, I hope you can still see the screen. So, 12 squared is 144. 16 squared is 256. X squared equals 400. Now, to find X, we take the square root of both sides. You've got a calculator. So X ends up being 20. And you type that in right there. And that makes sense because if you're looking at the problem, 20, this side has to be the longest side, you see? And that's longer than 16 and it's longer than 12. So we go to the next problem. I write the formula. Remember, it's on your formula sheet. I plug in the numbers that I know. Oops, I got to back up because I know C is 13. We know that because it's across from the right angle. Don't forget to put 13 in for the C, not the A or the B. Now, the 5 can be A or B. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to put it in for A. Oops. And you could put a B there, or you could put X. Since X is in the problem, I'll use an X. So this is 169 equals 25 plus X squared. So what is that? 144. Perfect, because now when we take the square root of both sides, 144 is a perfect square. So X equals 12. And that also makes sense because it's not the longest side, shorter than 13. So you type your 12 in there. And I believe that is it. All right, peace out.